My advice? Get over yourself and make some money. Hello, affluent investors all across the fruited plain. I am Bryan Ellis. Welcome to the Accredited IQ Magazine update for June 8th, 2022. My friends, what would you say is the most politically incorrect industry of them all these days? Maybe illicit drugs, pornography, some other obvious social ill, perhaps? Nope. Those things barely get a mention these days because the biggest, baddest bugaboo of them all is oil. That's right, bubbling crude, black gold, Texas tea. And with that, I'm sure that anyone who has affinity for blackness, gold, Texas, or even tea now stands offended. Well, get over yourself. We're here to think about the money side of things. Now, I'll bet you've noticed that gas prices are at an all-time historic high price. And that's because the primary ingredient of gasoline, which is oil, began running up in price beginning here in January of 2021, and it's been like a bat out of hell ever since. But why did that happen then in January 2021? Well, that month, all of the powers that be in the United States began to target the oil industry for annihilation. Newly inaugurated resident of the White House, Joe Biden, immediately canceled the Keystone XL pipeline and placed moratoria on new oil and gas development within the United States. Biden also explicitly directed his regulatory agencies to rescind prior regulations that made oil and gas production an attractive path in the past. In short, Biden's administration was on the warpath against oil, and they were very open and very public about it from his first moments in office. But did he do this because oil demand was fading and he was just trying to get ahead of the curve? No way. Oil demand was, is, and long will be booming. You don't have to trust me on that. Biden's own Energy Information Agency confirmed as much when it said by 2050, global energy use increases nearly 50% compared with 2020. And even Oxford University's Institute for Energy Studies, you know, that Oxford, the top university in the entire world, well, they said something similar. They said the date at which oil demand will stop growing is highly uncertain. More importantly, there is little reason to believe that once it does peak, that oil demand will fall sharply. Hey, the links for both of those things are below. Check them out for yourself. It's saying they don't know when oil demand is going to slow down, and it's probably not going to decline even when it does start to slow down. So what we know is this. In the face of tremendous evidence that oil demand was not merely stable but growing for the foreseeable future, the Biden administration decided to cut the supply of oil to the United States. And what happens when the supply of a commodity is dramatically reduced while demand continues to grow? Well, what you get is a price chart something like this. You've seen that before, haven't you? Point is, it was all entirely predictable, and you could have done very well by paying attention to those signs. Some of us absolutely did. So where does this leave you now? And what's the outlook for the future beginning right now? Well, there's still some very good news there, and I'll give it all to you in tomorrow's episode of Accredited IQ Magazine Update. So join me again. Same bat time, same bat channel. I'm Bryan Ellis, publisher of Accredited IQ Magazine, and this has been the Accredited IQ Magazine Update for June 8th, 2022.